Welcome to the Rev-Tech Revolution podcast, where we combine our 10 plus years of data integration experience and all-star guests to explore how organizations drive revenue through cutting-edge RevOps technology. Today's episode will be hosted by Riva's CEO, Aldo. He will be talking with Stephane, Riva's CTO, about how organizations use CRMs to empower their teams and improve the customer experience. They will also explore how being a family-founded CRM integration company drives a relentless pursuit of customer centricity. All of this and more on the Rev-Tech Revolution podcast.
Hello, I'm Aldo Zanoni, CEO and co-founder of Riva. In season 1 of this podcast series, I host all-star revolutionaries and explore the ways their organizations use data, CRM, and customer centricity to empower their teams and fuel their digital transformation. Today's guest is someone I know quite well, Riva CTO and co-founder Stephane Zanoni. Hello, Stephane.
Hello, Aldo. Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining me today. So, Stephane, let's start at square one. I've always felt with Riva being customer funded, well, that was one of our secrets to our success. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how being customer focused and family founded drives the relentless pursuit of customer centricity here at Riva.
The importance of being customer centric for us really started 10 years ago, in that we had no choice but to be customer centric and to listen to our customers and to respond to their needs. Our organization has learned that responding to those customer needs and supporting customers be successful is really at the core of what it means to being customer centric. It's not just about collecting data on customers. It's not just collecting data about clients. It's using that information to improve the customer experience and reducing the level of frustration and reducing the number of touch points. Traditional software has been designed around big databases and big data collection. Now we're transitioning to having personalization and a personalized customer experience where, as a customer, we now expect to be treated as though we're the only customer an organization has. And it's that customer centricity, the putting the client at the center of that relationship, that is the level of commitment that an organization needs to put towards their clients.
So let's take that perspective, Stephane, in how a company listens to its customers and puts them at the center of the enterprise. Historically, customers were at the center of relationships, but they were not at the center of the enterprise and enterprise processes. How did that transition happen over time, and how did Riva achieve that?
Well, the first step is understanding who's working with whom in your organization. And so having information and having data that helps drive those decisions and helps reduce the number of touch points, that helps optimize the relationship, is really the first step. So those early movers and those first movers valued the ability to automate a lot of the data acquisition, data gathering processes that Riva brought. Riva's data synchronization platform really allowed information to be collected without deploying desktop software. 10 years ago, Riva was one of the first in the industry to bring a cross CRM and cross-platform synchronization solution that did not require desktop software. And so going from a world where there were Outlook plugins that needed to be installed on every desktop, synchronization software, multiple databases on everybody's systems, to a world where there's a single point synchronization, enterprise-grade technology that allowed for an enterprise deployment while respecting security policies, by respecting data flow, and data access policies, allowed Riva to find its footing in regulated industries, and industries with compliance requirements.
So what you'll find is that when a large enterprise with multiple divisions that serve the same customer tries to put that customer at the center, things get complex. Stephane, what are some of the considerations that Riva's clients have had to wrestle with during this business and technological transformation?
Well, what I find to be extremely interesting is that some of Riva's first customers are still customers today, 10 years later. And some of the very first customers had requirements that had never really been solved of enterprise server-side synchronization. Everyone was using Outlook desktop plugins or desktop software to synchronize. And Riva's value proposition was that it provided an enterprise server-centric solution that did not require end-user intervention. And those customers that valued that initial value proposition are still with Riva today. Riva's ability to continue to listen to the customer needs and Riva's ability to leverage the latest technologies meant that we've gone from using Exchange 2003 to Exchange 2007 to now Office 365 and beyond, and Microsoft 365. And so our ability to innovate and to respond to customer needs, leveraging technologies, means that we've grown with our customers.
So, Stephane, you mentioned we've changed the way that this happens. You introduced this concept of automation. What types of industries can best leverage these changes and the requirements that are involved?
Our clients in financial services, in insurance, in health sciences, those customers really expect an always-on technology. And so we work with those customers to make sure that their DR plans are adequate, that the Riva deployments meet the high scalability needs, failover needs, disaster resiliency, multiple locations. We'll even help organizations go through a DR test as part of a deployment. And so it's having a strong team that understands those enterprise scalability, but enterprise resiliency requirements is really key to our success.
And that scalability is key in putting the customer at the center of the enterprise. When you're a large organization, the accuracy of your calendar, its reliability, and your ability to trust your calendar across all views are paramount. There's also this whole concept of data privacy with the introduction of GDPR and the California legislation. You're dealing with financial services, you're dealing with insurance and health sciences that you identified. Where does data privacy fit into this equation?
We look at data privacy with two different lenses. There's personal information privacy, where we're looking to protect personal information about a client or about a customer. Mm-hmm. And then there's the material non-public information, where you can have advantages in stock trading or in securities that cannot be published even internally to other business units. And being able to maintain a separation of that information from other team members to ensure compliance requirements.
So in addition to those two lenses, we have differing data compliance requirements based on the geographic location to deal with GDPR or to deal with other regional data residence compliance. Where does that fit in this picture?
With Riva's content parsers and advanced transformations, we're able to specifically select what information leaves the email system and what information enters the sales automation system. Similarly, we're able to perform custom mappings so that, as an example, everyone in the organization can have a different phone number for the same contact. There's a level in which Riva can synchronize per contact private information without making that information available to all of the other users of the system. Another example of that would be where one person's contact notes never get shared to someone else's contact notes. But to the user experience, everybody has their own notes, everybody has their own phone numbers, everybody has their own addresses, but that information isn't publicly available to everyone else in your CRM. So the different privacy levels can be applied at the contact level, at an account level, but more importantly, also when it comes to meetings and tasks. So those types of activities, whether it's an email, a meeting, or a follow-up next step or follow-up task, the sensitivity of that and the classification that you would give it can also change how the information is stored and or communicated to the other team members. And so it's possible with Riva to flag an activity as containing non-public information, ensuring that that activity is classified as such. And then when it's processed by Riva and synchronized to CRM, the information is stored in CRM in a way that ensures compliance with securities.
So this is important, and in fact so important because it makes everyone an active participant in understanding how data is shared internally and externally. It's no longer the focus of just the CISO or security admins. This truly gets everyone into the game to ensure the data they share is secure, private, and compliant.
So there are different ways that organizations have segmented their systems. Often what we see is there's a need for a firewall between different parts of the business. And so the investment banking team might have a different system than the commercial banking team. Riva's advanced classification technology allows activities to be auto-categorized, but also to be manually categorized directly within your email client, allowing for the most effective classification possible, or the least cumbersome classification possible. Much like the initial digital transformation of moving software from the desktop and from behind corporate data centers to the cloud and to the browser, much like that initial digital transformation, we're now looking at a shift in focus. So that shift in focus brings us to this customer-centric view where data operations has a key role in understanding customers and the customer needs. And not just understanding customer needs, but helping our teams better respond to those needs. It's by leveraging technologies like Riva that bring a data ops approach to customer centricity that our clients will build stronger relationships with their clients.
And having the data operations piece in place and understanding how it has become a new layer in the transformation stack are essential in simplifying that transition to customer centricity. Thank you, Stephane, for sharing your insight on Riva's approach to customer centricity and data ops. Thank you to our listeners for spending this time with me. I hope you enjoyed this first episode and invite you to join us again.
Before we drop off today, Aldo, what excites you the most about hosting this podcast?
Well, as a podcast host, I think the most interesting thing is the variety of topics and the measure of expertise that leaders in our industry bring to the table. And share. It's a question of understanding different approaches and understanding the challenges, identifying the commonalities and identifying trends, and then using data to support our understanding of those trends and moving toward the future.
Thank you for tuning in to the Riva Data Revolution podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to rate, review, and share this with colleagues who would benefit from it. If you would like to learn more about how Riva can help you improve your customer data operations, check out rivaengine.com.